Aaron Bailey looked out the window of the small spacecraft as it entered the atmosphere of Calvera. The sky was green with streaks of blue light, and the land below was full of strange, tall trees and glowing rivers. It was beautiful, but Aaron stayed quiet. He had a mission to focus on. He had been sent by the Earth Council to make peace with the Calveran Empire. There had been fighting before, but both sides now wanted peace. Aaron was chosen because he was calm and knew how to talk to aliens. He had solved problems before on other worlds. As the ship landed, Aaron checked his simple gray uniform. It was neat, with a small badge showing he was a diplomat. He took a deep breath. This was not just any mission. The future of Earth and Calvera could depend on it. Guards with silver armor and long staffs waited outside. They had large eyes and green-blue skin. One of them stepped forward and gave a short nod. "Welcome, human Aaron. The princess awaits." Aaron nodded back. "Thank you. I'm ready." He followed them through bright halls made of smooth white stone. Strange glowing lights floated near the ceiling. The walls had carvings that looked like stars and animals. Calveran design was both alien and beautiful. Finally, they stopped in front of a tall door. The guard turned and said, "She is inside. Go in and speak with respect." Aaron walked in slowly. The room was warm, with soft lights and the sound of running water. There were flowers with glowing petals and a bed shaped like a leaf in the center. Aaron looked up and froze. A young alien woman stood near the center of the room. She had light blue skin, long silver hair, and her back was to him. She was not wearing any clothes. Aaron's eyes went wide. He quickly turned around, facing the door. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." He heard a soft laugh. A voice behind him said, "So humans are shy. I see." Aaron kept his eyes on the wall. "There must have been a mistake. I thought this was the meeting room." "It is," the voice said. "In our culture, this is the preparation chamber. I was getting ready for our first talk. It is normal for us to begin in truth and openness." He heard footsteps. "You may turn now." Aaron turned slowly. The alien woman now wore a long robe of green and gold with a silver belt. Her eyes were bright violet and her expression was kind. "I am Princess Lyra," she said, "and you must be Aaron." He gave a small bow. "Yes, I'm sorry for the confusion." "I meant no disrespect," she smiled. "None taken, it was unexpected, but I admire your honesty." Aaron relaxed a little. Lyra walked to a small table and motioned for him to sit. He followed, still unsure of the rules here. She poured a drink that glowed slightly and handed him a cup. "Tell me, Aaron Bailey," she said, "why do you want peace?" Aaron looked at the glowing liquid, then at her. "Because war helps no one. People suffer. We are different, yes, but we can learn from each other. I believe in that." Lyra watched him for a moment. "Many on this world do not agree. They think humans are loud, wild, and dangerous." Aaron nodded. "Some of us are, but not all. We want peace. We want to trade, to share knowledge, to grow." She sipped her drink. "You speak from the heart. I like that." Aaron gave a small smile. "I'll try not to walk into any more rooms by mistake." Lyra laughed again. It was a soft, musical sound. Perhaps it was fate, a strange beginning, but a real one. That is better than cold words. They talked for another hour. Lyra asked questions about Earth, about human food and music. Aaron answered simply, enjoying her curiosity. He learned she had trained for years to become a leader. She knew 10 languages and had visited many Calveran cities. As the meeting ended, Lyra stood. "Tomorrow I will show you the gardens, and I will teach you how to greet a princess properly." Aaron stood too. "I'd like that." She gave him a smile that was both warm and thoughtful. "Good night, Aaron. May your rest be clear." He bowed and left the room, his heart still beating fast. He had come for peace talks, but something else had begun a strange, honest connection that surprised them both. The next morning, Aaron woke up early in the guest wing of the Calveran Palace. The bed was soft, the room quiet. Strange bird-like sounds echoed outside the window. He looked out and saw the palace gardens, full of glowing plants and walking creatures that looked like tall deer with feathers. After a short walk through the halls, a young Calveran guide named Nera led him back to Princess Lyra. She was waiting in the garden, dressed in a new green robe, standing under a large tree with golden leaves. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning, Aaron. Did you sleep well?" "Yes," he said. "Your world is very peaceful." "At least here in the palace." She nodded. "Here we keep calm. But outside, things are harder. Not everyone trusts peace." They walked side by side through the garden. The air smelled sweet. Flowers opened as they passed, and small flying lights buzzed around them. Lyra pointed to each plant, telling him their names and uses. Some healed, some glowed at night, and some were used in food or drinks. "We believe in balance," she said. "Even the smallest plant has a place." Aaron listened closely. He found her voice calming. He had met many leaders before, but Lyra felt different. She was not just talking. She was sharing dot as they walked. They came to a quiet place with a small pool. A bench was placed beside it. Lyra sat down and looked at the water. "I want to learn more about your people," she said. "What do humans value the most?" Aaron thought for a moment. "I think we value freedom. The right to choose, to speak, to live as we wish." She looked at him. "That is powerful. But sometimes too much freedom can bring chaos." He nodded. "That is true. It can. But when we learn to use it wisely, it becomes our strength." She smiled. "You speak with care." "That is rare among leaders." Aaron smiled back. "I'm just a man, trying to understand a new world." Suddenly a voice called out. It was a tall Calveran male, dressed in fine robes. He looked at Aaron with cold eyes. "Princess Lyra," he said, "I did not expect you to walk alone with the human." She stood. "Counselor." "Varric, this is Aaron Bailey, our guest. He is here for peace." Varric looked at Aaron and gave a slow bow. "Then I hope he learns quickly. This world is not easy for outsiders." Aaron stayed calm. "I'm here to listen and learn." Varric gave a small smile that did not reach his eyes. "Good, because many are watching." He turned and left. Aaron looked at Lyra. She sighed. "He is part of the old group," she said. "They fear change." Aaron nodded. "We have people like that too." They walked again, slower this time. Lyra seemed quieter. "I want peace," she said, "but it will not be easy." "Nothing we're having is easy," Aaron said, "but we can try, together." She looked at him, and for a moment there was something more in her eyes, not just respect, maybe hope. Later, Lyra took Aaron to the Hall of Songs. It was a wide room with a high ceiling and walls that hummed with sound. Soft music played, changing with the mood of those inside. Lyra stood at the center and placed her hand on a crystal. The room filled with light and sound. A song began, slow and gentle. It told a story in a language Aaron didn't know, but he felt the meaning. A story of a young queen and a stranger from the stars. "This is our way of sharing truth," she said, "through feeling." Aaron closed his eyes and listened. He felt peace, sadness, and hope. It moved through him like a wave. When it ended, the room grew quiet again. "That was beautiful," he said. Lyra looked at him. "And true." They stood there for a while, both silent. Then she spoke again. "Tomorrow we speak before the council. They will ask hard questions. Will you be ready?" "I will," Aaron said. She gave him a small smile. "Good. We will face them together." As the sun began to set, the garden lights turned on. The flowers glowed brighter, and the air became cool. Lyra walked with Aaron back to his room. Before, She left. She looked at him again. Thank you, Aaron, for your kindness. He smiled. Thank you for your trust. When she was gone, Aaron sat by the window. He looked at the stars above. This world was strange and full of danger, but also beauty. And in the center of it was Lyra. He knew now that this mission was more than peace. It was about connection, and that made it worth everything. The next morning, the palace was quiet. Aaron dressed in his best formal clothes, a dark blue suit made for this mission. He felt nervous, but he remembered Lyra's words. They would face the council together. Nera, the young guide, led him to the council hall. The building was tall and round, made of shining stone with a roof that opened to the sky. Inside, 12 council members sat in a half circle. All were elders, with long robes and serious eyes. Princess Lyra stood beside Aaron. She wore a silver robe and a crown of crystal leaves. She looked calm, but Aaron could feel the tension in the air. A bell rang. One of the council members, an old woman named Yari, spoke first. We welcome Princess Lyra and the human envoy. Let us begin. Another counselor, a man with deep lines on his face, leaned forward. Aaron Bailey, why should we trust your people after the conflict? Aaron took a deep breath. Because we've learned. Mistakes were made on both sides. But we are not here to repeat them. We are here to build something better. Yari nodded slowly. Words are easy. What actions will follow? Aaron looked at Lyra, then back to the council. We offer trade, knowledge, and help. We want to learn from you and share what we know, not control. Just friendship. Another voice came from the side. It was Varric. He stood now, tall and proud. What if your friendship is only a mask? What if humans use kindness to hide their hunger? For power? Aaron answered carefully. Then watch us closely. Hold us to our word. But give us a chance to show who we really are. There was silence for a moment. Then Lyra spoke. I have spent time with Aaron. He has shown respect, kindness, and a true wish for peace. I trust him. The room grew quiet again. Finally, Yari said, the council will consider your words. We will speak again tomorrow. As they left the hall, Aaron let out a long breath. Lyra touched his arm gently. You did well. I hope it was enough, he said. That afternoon, they walked in the garden again. But something felt different. Guards were posted near the gates. Lyra looked worried. Some are angry, she said. They do not want peace. They fear what change will bring. Aaron nodded. Change is always hard, but it's worth trying. They sat near the pool again. Lyra looked down at the water. There are rumors. Someone wants to stop the talks. They might try something dangerous. Aaron frowned. Do you think they would try to harm us? Maybe not you, but they might attack the peace itself. He stayed quiet for a moment. Then we have to be careful, and we have to stay strong. That evening, Lyra showed Aaron the Hall of Memories. Inside were floating crystals, each one holding a piece of history. She touched one, and a picture appeared in the air, story of a long war between two Calvarian cities. It ended only when two leaders fell in love and united their people. History repeats itself, she said. But sometimes love changes the pattern. Aaron looked at her. Do you believe love can change our story? She met his eyes. I believe it. Already has. They stood there in silence, the soft glow of the crystals around them. In that moment, words were not needed. Later that night, Aaron returned to his room. He found a note on the table. It was not signed. The writing was sharp and clear. Leave now, before it's too late. He looked around, but the hallway outside was empty. He took the note to Lyra right away. She read it and her face turned cold. This is a warning. Someone is planning something. We should tell your guards. No, she said. The enemy may be among them. We must be careful. Aaron looked at her. Then what do we do? She folded the note. We wait, and we watch. Tomorrow, we continue the talks, but tonight, we prepare for danger. Aaron stood by the window of his room, looking out at the stars. His heart was heavy. He had come for peace, but now he was part of something more. Something risky, something real. And somewhere in the Dark Palace, someone wanted to stop them. But Aaron knew one thing. He would not back down. Not now. Not after everything. The future was still possible, and he would fight for it, with words if he could, with more if he must. The sun rose slowly over the palace, casting soft light on the stone walls. Aaron stood at the window, still thinking about the warning note. He had not slept well. Too many thoughts filled his mind. Who had sent the message? What were they planning? A soft knock came at the door. It was Lyra. She wore a dark robe, different from her usual bright ones. Her face was serious. "Come with me," she said. Aaron followed her through quiet halls and hidden paths behind the main corridors. They entered a small chamber with no windows. Inside stood a man Aaron had not seen before. He had gray skin and sharp eyes. "This is Howler," Lyra said. "He is one of the few I trust." Howler nodded. "We have watched Varric. He speaks of peace, but he meets in secret with those who want war." Aaron stepped forward. "Do you think he will try something today?" "Yes," Howler said. "We believe he plans to frame you." Aaron frowned. "How?" Lyra answered. "There is an old relic, a symbol of our unity. If it disappears and you are blamed, the talks will fall apart." Aaron's chest felt tight. "Then we must stop it." "We will," Lyra said. "But we must be careful. We will act tonight when the guards change." The rest of the day passed slowly. Aaron met with other Calvarian scholars, spoke calmly at a small public event, and tried to act as if nothing was wrong. But inside, he was tense. That night, the halls were darker than usual. Lyra met Aaron near the Hall of Unity, where the relic was kept. Howler was already there, watching from behind a pillar. They waited in silence. Then, footsteps. A shadow moved across the hall. It was Varric. He walked with purpose and carried a small black case. He looked around, then approached the relic. The golden object glowed slightly on its pedestal. Varric opened the case and pulled out a tool. That's when Howler stepped forward. "Stop," Varric spun around. His eyes went wide when he saw Aaron and Lyra behind Howler. "This is a mistake," Varric said quickly. "I was checking security." Lyra stepped closer. "With a tool used to steal? With no guards around?" Varric frowned. "You protect this human too much. He is a danger." Aaron looked him in the eye. "I came to help. You came to destroy." Varric's face twisted with anger. "Humans are weak. You speak of peace, but soon your kind will want more. Power, land, control. I am saving us." Howler moved fast. He took the tool from Varric's hand and held him still. "You are under arrest," Howler said. Varric struggled, but gave up. "This will not end here," he said. "There are others." Guards arrived soon after. They took Varric away. Lyra turned to Aaron. Her eyes were tired but calm. "Thank you for standing with me." "Always," Aaron said. The next morning, the council met again. This time, the mood was different. Word of Varric's betrayal had spread. The elders listened more closely. Yari spoke. "We see now that not all who speak against peace do so from fear. Some wish to break our future." Aaron stood. "I do not come with lies. I come with open hands. What happened last night was not my doing, but it shows how far. We must go to reach trust." Lyra stepped beside him. "I stand with him, not as a princess alone, but as someone who believes in something better." The council members whispered among themselves. Finally, Yari stood. "We vote tomorrow. Until then, you are both under our protection." As Aaron and Lyra walked out, the crowd in the halls watched them. Some bowed, some simply stared. But the mood was changing. In the garden, Lyra spoke softly. "You risked everything. For peace. For us." Aaron looked at her. "So did you." She took his hand. No matter what they decide, I believe we have already. Juan, we have shown them what is possible. Aaron smiled. Then let's finish what we started. They sat together under the golden tree as night came. The stars above them were quiet. But in their hearts, something bright was growing. And it was only the beginning. The morning of the vote came with a quiet breeze. The palace felt still, like the world was waiting. Aaron woke up early and stood at the window. He looked at the city of Calvera beyond the palace walls. The towers shimmered in the light. Airships floated slowly above. He turned when he heard a knock. It was Lyra. She looked calm, but he could see the worry in her eyes. "Today is important," she said. "I know," Aaron replied. "I hope they choose peace." They walked together through the halls. Many Calverans bowed as they passed. Some smiled. A few looked away. Not everyone supported the talks, but things were changing. In the council hall, the elders were already seated. Yari stood when Aaron and Lyra entered. She raised her hand, and the hall grew silent. "We gather to decide," she said. "This vote is not only about peace with Earth, it is about who we are and who we wish to become." Each council member stood one by one and placed a glowing stone in a large bowl at the center. Blue for yes, red for no. Aaron held his breath. All 12 stones were placed. Yari stepped forward. She reached into the bowl. Slowly, she raised her hand. In her palm were 9 blue stones and 3 red ones. "The vote is passed," she said. "The peace agreement is approved." Aaron let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Lyra smiled and touched his hand. The hall filled with quiet cheers. A few members remained still, their faces tight, but they did not speak. Later, a ceremony was held in the central plaza. People from across Calvera came to watch. Flags of both Earth and Calvera waved in the wind. Music played, and food was shared. It felt like the start of something new. Lyra stood on a high platform beside Aaron. She spoke to the people. "Today we choose hope over fear. We choose to build a bridge instead of a wall. This is not the end of our journey, but the beginning." Aaron spoke next. "Your princess has shown great courage. I came here as a stranger. I leave here as a friend. Let us walk forward together." The crowd cheered. Calverin and human envoys signed the treaty under the clear sky. The moment was recorded in history. As the sun set, Lyra and Aaron walked through the garden. It was quiet again. The flowers glowed softly. "You did it," Aaron said. "You made peace possible." "We did it," Lyra said. "Together." They sat on the bench near the pool. Lyra looked at the water, then at Aaron. "There is something I must ask," she said. "Now that the talks are over, will you return to Earth?" Aaron looked at her. "I thought about it, but my heart feels connected to this place." "To you," she smiled. "Then stay, be our first human ambassador. Help us keep this peace alive." Aaron nodded slowly. "I would be honored." That night, they stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Lights shone across the towers. People danced in the streets. Music echoed through the air. Lyra leaned closer. "There is still much work to do. Many minds to change." "I know," Aaron said. "But we'll face it together." In the weeks that followed, Aaron stayed in Calvera. He met with leaders, helped build new programs, and worked with Lyra to connect their 2 worlds. Some still doubted, but many more believed. One day, Lyra brought Aaron to a school. Children of both species sat together, learning each other's words. When they saw the princess and the human, they waved and smiled. "This is the future," Lyra whispered. Aaron nodded. "And it looks bright." Every evening, they returned to the garden. It became their place of peace, their reminder of how it all began. And in that garden, under the glowing trees, something deeper grew between them. Not just peace between worlds, but something personal, something real. It was not spoken often, but it was felt. They were no longer just allies. They were something more. Weeks passed quickly. Aaron now lived in the palace as Calvera's first human ambassador. He worked closely with Princess Lyra every day. They met with scholars, leaders, and workers. They listened to people's worries and hopes. Slowly, the bond between humans and Calverans grew stronger, but peace was still new. Not everyone accepted it. One morning, Aaron walked into the meeting room. Lyra was already there. Her face was serious. "There was an attack in the city," she said. "A group burned one of the new learning centers." Aaron sat down. "Anyone hurt?" "No," she said. But the message was clear. "They blame humans for the changes." Aaron looked down. "We knew this wouldn't be easy." "It's not your fault," Lyra said. "But we need to act." Later that day, they visited the damaged building. The walls were blackened. Some windows were broken. But inside, children were still sitting in a circle, reading. The teacher stood up when she saw them. "They wanted to scare us, but we are still here." Aaron smiled. "You are brave. You're building the future." Back at the palace, the council called a special meeting. Yari was there, along with other members. Some looked angry, some afraid. "We must find those responsible," one elder said. "They are trying to break what we built." Another added, "Maybe the peace came too fast." Lyra stood. "No, peace came when it was needed. We will not step back because of fear. We must move forward with care and strength." Aaron spoke next. "We need to show the people we are united. Humans and Calverans must stand side by side." Yari nodded. "Then let us hold a gathering. A day of unity. We will show them we are not afraid." The next week, the city prepared for the event. Flags were hung across streets. Food from both worlds was shared in open markets. Music played, mixing old Calveran tones with human melodies. On the day of unity, a large stage was set in the central square. Lyra and Aaron stood together. Lyra spoke first. "This peace is not perfect, but it is ours, and we will protect it. Not with weapons, but with truth and trust." Aaron added, "We come from different stars, but we share the same sky. Let us walk together." The crowd clapped. People smiled. Some cried, but in the shadows danger waited. That night, as the city lights dimmed and people returned home, a small group moved through the dark alleys. Their leader wore a black mask and carried a strange device. Holler, Lyra's loyal guard, had been watching. He followed the group and sent a message to the palace. Aaron and Lyra were still in the garden when the call came. "Trouble near the bridge." Howler said, "They plan to destroy it." Lyra stood at once. "We need to go." Aaron followed. They took a small flyer and landed near the old bridge that connected two parts of the city. The group was already there, setting the device under the structure. Howler jumped out from behind a stone. "Stop!" the group scattered. One man ran, but Aaron tackled him. The device fell and rolled near the edge. Lyra ran to it. She studied the buttons. "It's not like anything I've seen." "Can we shut it down?" Aaron asked. "Maybe," she said. "Help." Me. Together, they pressed buttons, followed wires, and listened to the beeps. The light on the device changed from red to yellow. "Almost there," Lyra whispered. The man Aaron had stopped shouted, "You can't stop the truth. Peace is a lie." Aaron looked at him. "No, fear is the lie. We're proving it right now." With one last press, the light turned green. The device powered. Down dot silence followed. Lyra stood and looked at Aaron. "We did it." He nodded. "Together." Guards arrived and took the attackers away. The bridge was safe. The city would wake up to another day of peace. That night, back in the palace, Lyra and Aaron sat under the stars. "We will face more troubles," she said. "More people who fear change." "Yes," Aaron replied. "But we will also find more who believe." She reached for his hand. "Then we keep going." Side by side, Aaron squeezed her hand gently. "For as long as it takes." Above them, The stars shone bright, a quiet promise of a better tomorrow. Months passed, and the bond between Earth and Calvera grew stronger. More humans came to visit the Calveran cities, and more Calverans traveled to Earth. The two worlds were no longer strangers. They were partners. Aaron worked every day as the human ambassador. He helped build schools, centers for learning, and places for both species to share ideas. Lyra remained by his side, leading her people with wisdom and courage. One morning, Lyra invited Aaron to the high balcony above the palace. The view was wide. The city below shimmered in the soft morning light. "Today is special," she said. Aaron smiled. "Why?" "The council has made a decision. My mother, Queen Tala, is stepping down. She wants me to take the throne." Aaron stared at her. "You'll be queen?" "Yes," she said softly. "Tomorrow." Aaron stepped closer. "You will be a great queen, but will things change between us?" Lyra looked at him, her eyes full of warmth. "You have always treated me not just as a leader, but as a person. That means more than you know. I will still need you. Not just as an ambassador, but as a friend." Aaron nodded. "I'll always be here." The next day, the coronation began. The whole city gathered around the palace. Giant screens showed the event across Calvera and on Earth. It was the first time both worlds would witness a new Calveran queen. Lyra stood at the center of the great hall. She wore a long robe of silver and green. The crystal crown was placed on her head by Queen Tala, who then stepped aside. Lyra spoke to her people. "Today I promise to serve with strength and wisdom, to guide with heart and hope. I will lead Calvera into a new time of peace, with the stars as our friends." The crowd cheered. Aaron stood among them, his heart full. He remembered the first day he met her, when he walked into her room by mistake. Now she stood as queen. After the ceremony, Aaron found her in the garden. She had taken off the crown and sat on their old bench. "I needed a quiet moment," she said. Sat beside her. "Do you ever miss the simpler days?" "Yes," she said. "But I believe those days helped build this one." They sat in silence for a while. Then Lyra turned to him. "There is something I must ask." "Anything," he said. "Will you stay? Not just as ambassador, but as someone close to me." "I don't want to lead this world alone." Aaron smiled. "I was hoping you'd ask." "Yes, I'll stay. Always." In the following weeks, Aaron and Lyra worked together as never before. They faced new challenges, like trade problems, health issues, and even misunderstandings between cultures. But they solved them one by one. Their love, though quiet, grew stronger. It did not need grand speeches or public shows. It was in the way they looked at each other, the way they stood side by side in every meeting, and the way they trusted one another. One evening, under the glowing trees, Aaron brought a small box. "What is that?" Lyra asked. He opened it. Inside was a simple ring with a small blue stone, the same color as her eyes. "This is from Earth," he said. "It means a bond, a promise." Lyra touched the ring. "It's beautiful." "So are you," Aaron said. "I want to spend my life with you. Not just in peace talks, but in everything." She smiled, tears in her eyes, then placed it on my hand. He did, and the garden seemed to glow even brighter. Not long after, they held a quiet ceremony. It was not grand. It didn't need to be. Close friends and trusted allies gathered. Lyra and Aaron stood together, promising to walk through life side by side that the people of both worlds celebrated. Stories of their bond spread across stars. They were more than symbols of peace. They were proof that love could grow between two worlds. Years later, when children asked how peace began, their teachers told a simple story. It started when a human walked into the room of an alien princess by mistake. And from that small, strange moment, a great future began. Aaron and Lyra watched that future grow every day. They stood together as rulers, as leaders, and as something more, not just human. and alien, but partners dot and the stars watch with quiet joy.